Hey gamers, if you're looking for new update-best roguelite games, then you've come to the right place. In this video, I'm going to show you the best 15 new upcoming roguelite games that you need to play in Q1 2026. Please note, the numbering order is just for reference and doesn't imply any ranking, and don't assume the game's quality based on its position in the list. Before we continue with the list, I want to say thank you to R.I.P from 2P Games for sponsoring this video. Reincarnation Insurance Program, or R.I.P, is a brand new top-down bullet hell roguelite shooter that blends Diablo-style looting with survivor-like mayhem. In this game, you play as a time-traveling agent who cleans up a zombie apocalypse for a company called the Reincarnation Insurance Program. And unlike most bullet hell roguelites with pixel art visuals, this game is built with Unreal Engine 5, so you can really feel it. Crazy lighting, intense particle effects, and full-screen chaos when the zombie hordes show up. But R.I.P isn't just about dodging bullets and shooting. This is a Diablo-style loot game. You'll be hunting for gear, legendary drops, and stacking wild affixes. Better weapons, better armor, stronger synergies, and yes, your build matters just as much as your skill. And dying is part of the progression. Every death gives you insurance payouts for permanent upgrades. So you die, you upgrade, you reincarnate, and the next run is always stronger than the last one. The game also has an auto-attack feature where you can run your character around while dodging zombies, but if you're a pro like me, you'll definitely aim those shots manually. R.I.P will launch for the first time on January 26th with a 10% launch discount available for the first 14 days. So if you love bullet hell roguelike games with real ARPG depth, this game is a must-have. So what are you waiting for? Go check out R.I.P by clicking my link in the description and experience this chaotic bullet hell roguelike that will blow your mind. Alright then, let's get back into the list. Starting number 15, Nullpoint Protocol is a fresh roguelike that smartly distills the chaos and coordination of MMO raid battles into tight, repeatable runs. It throws you straight into high-stakes boss encounters where reading attack patterns, positioning, and team synergy matter more than raw stats. This brand new roguelike takes the high-pressure, pattern-heavy chaos of raid boss encounters. Smart difficulty scaling keeps things tense without ever feeling unfair, which is especially important for co-op heavy games like this. Build variety is another strong point. With a solid pool of abilities and upgrades, each run encourages experimentation, letting you fine-tune your playstyle over time. So if you enjoy co-op roguelike games that reward mechanical mastery and coordination, this is one to keep firmly on your radar. Yeah, you heard it right. It's a brand new roguelike action RPG made by a solo developer, mixing fast dungeon crawling with classic ARPG style progression. Since it's a roguelike, every run throws you into tight, enemy-filled dungeons where your positioning, timing, and build choices matter just as much as your raw stats. But the combat feels solid, and the different classes are distinct enough that each one plays in its own way, and switching characters genuinely changes how the game feels, which keeps things fresh from run to run. Of course, strongest points is progression loop. Even when a run ends, permanent upgrades in the hub slowly make future attempts stronger and more flexible. And yup, the upgrade system is simple and encouraging experimentation across multiple runs. Next, we have Netherwyn. Netherwyn is a challenging co-op roguelite action RPG, where each run sends you and your allies into plague-stricken lands filled with relentless hordes and deadly boss encounters. This first release centers on the Pestilence, the first of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. I haven't played it myself yet, but based on what's shown, the game leans hard into the classic fail, learn, grow stronger loop with permadeath runs, procedural levels, and a strong emphasis on adapting your build every time you dive in. What stands out immediately is the hero system. Instead of locking you into rigid classes, Netherwyn uses a dual mastery setup that lets players mix and match playstyles. That kind of flexibility usually means high replay value, especially in a roguelike, where experimenting with builds is half the fun. Mad King Redemption looks like a brand new roguelike brawler that's trying to mix old school beat-em-up chaos with modern roguelite progression. The game blends classic combo-driven combat with randomized runs, shifting enemy layouts, and build-defining artifacts. The most interesting hook is the power at a cost system, getting buffs directly from the Mad King, but with long-term consequences. Progression also sounds solid, unlocking new heroes, moves, and artifacts between runs, with 4 playable characters planned at launch, each with unique combat styles and backstories. That's exactly what you want from a roguelike brawler hybrid, and yeah, based on the reveal alone, Mad King Redemption feels like a fresh indie roguelike with real potential. Definitely one to keep an eye on for Q1 2026. DunHero is a new roguelike RPG that blends classic dungeon crawling with modern, replay-heavy design. The feature set already paints a promising picture: real-time combat, procedurally generated maps, and both solo and co-op play make it feel built for quick sessions and long-term grind lovers. With 14 playable classes, a card-based customization system, and hundreds of items to discover, it's clearly built around experimentation and replayability rather than story-heavy progression. And yeah, the feature list suggests a roguelike designed for quick sessions, flexible playstyles, and repeated runs, something that fits the Switch perfectly if the performance holds up. For players looking for a fresh roguelike to keep an eye on, DunHero is one worth watching. Anomaly President is an upcoming action roguelike where you play as President in a double-life role. Presidential candidate by day, high-powered vigilante by night. At least it's not Trump, right? And yeah, during daylight hours, you'll travel across the country, gather votes, and win public support, while nighttime shifts the focus to intense combat against gangs and powerful bosses tied to the current regime. Each enemy comes with different abilities, and defeating them lets you steal those powers to shape your own build, ranging from sword-focused warriors to tech-infused mages. As a sequel to Anomaly Agent, the game leans hard into style, speed, and creative abilities rather than realism. Definitely one to keep an eye on if you enjoy roguelikes with a strong gimmick and lots of attitude. Darklight Survivor is an upcoming action roguelike on Steam that blends the auto-shooter chaos of Vampire Survivors with the gritty sci-fi gunplay of Helldivers and the monster design of Doom. Where Darklight Survivor really stands out is in its dual perspective system. You can freely switch between top-down twin-stick shooting and a third-person shooter view in the same run. In top-down mode, it feels a lot like classic Helldivers. In third-person, it plays more like a fast, arcade-style shooter. Combat isn't just about guns either. There's a strong melee and hack-and-slash system, which becomes crucial when the screen fills with enemies and space gets tight. Right now, there's a free demo on Steam, and full release is planned for early access in Q1 2026, with future updates adding more characters, skills, weapons, enemies, and biomes. Hey, I already tell you about this game. LORT is a chaotic co-op roguelite where you and up to 7 friends are thrown into a cursed fantasy realm, and the only way out is by surviving 5 brutal in-game days filled with goblins, slim, and bosses. To escape, you've got 5 in-game days to hunt ingredients, survive waves of goblins, and smash giant bosses. Runs last about 30 to 60 minutes, and everything is procedurally mixed, so no 2 runs play the same. The real fun is in the combat chaos. You can hot swap between swords, wands, bows, and even guns mid-fight, then stack 100 plus wild power-ups that turn your character into a total monster by day 5. Some upgrades are serious, some are pure jokes, but they all stack into ridiculous builds. So if you're looking for co-op roguelike to play with your friends, this one is worth checking out. Carmageddon Rogue Shift looks like the death race game fans have been waiting for. You will race through a ruined city at night, blasting rivals with miniguns and rockets while dodging creepy environmental hazards and zombie-like hordes. The vibes scream classic arcade chaos, mixing the destructive joy of Burnout, the madness of Motor Storm, and the brutal DNA of old-school Carmageddon. Each vehicle comes with its own stats and special abilities. Some cars can trade health for boosts or firepower, while others grow stronger the more ammo and health you collect mid-race. Not only that, you'll unlock new weapons and upgrades over time, letting you customize your ride into a true chariot of destruction. It's launching in early 2026, and for fans of over-the-top car combat, this one is definitely worth wishlisting. Cinderia is a 2.5D action roguelite built for players who love fast, flashy hack-and-slash combat with real build depth behind it. At its core, the game is all about combos and how you design your character every single run. You mix and match active skills, passive abilities, and relics to create wildly different play styles, turning each attempt into a new experiment. One run might focus on raw damage, the next on mobility, crowd control, or status effects. That constant reshuffling keeps the gameplay feeling fresh instead of repetitive. Combat is quick, responsive, and designed to reward aggressive play, while still asking you to think about positioning and timing. Its unique combat synergy sets it apart, making Cinderia not just a test of reflexes, but also of creative combat strategy. Nevergrave the Witch and the Curse is an upcoming dark fantasy roguelite where you play as a magical hat that possesses the body of a fallen young witch. At its core, Nevergrave is a Metroidvania roguelite. Every run sends you into procedurally generated dungeons with random upgrades and treasures. You build your character on the fly, choosing between magic-heavy builds, melee-focused styles, or utility upgrades like movement speed and extra health. Each run feels different, and the replay value is clearly a big focus. Outside the dungeon, the game adds a light crafting and village building layer. You collect long-term resources like wood, stone, and coins to rebuild a ruined village and unlock permanent upgrades. This gives the game more of a roguelite structure, where failure still pushes you forward. For this one, maybe you already know it, BlazBlue Entropy Effect. Why I tell you about this one? Because it's coming to consoles in February 2026, and the demo is available now for those who are interested in giving this roguelite side-scrolling game a try. Yup, this is a roguelike spin-off of a fighting game series that ended years ago, mixing fast 2D action with the combo-heavy DNA of BlazBlue. You play as a small robot running combat simulations in a mysterious sci-fi facility, slowly uncovering that things are not as normal as they seem. Instead of one or two characters, you get a huge roster right from the start, and you can unlock your favorites in any order. No forced grinding, just to reach the character you like, which is a big win for fans of the series. Ravenswatch is one of those rare co-op games that quietly becomes a forever game. It's a tough, run-based action roguelike where up to 4 players drop into a dark fantasy world and try to survive across 3 in-game days, clearing points of interest, building their characters, and gearing up for brutal boss fights at the end of each act. Now, do you need the Merlin DLC? If you don't already own Ravenswatch, just buy the base game. And Merlin might be the most complex character in the entire roster. Instead of the usual simple ability layout, he has burn, frost, lightning, shields, brambles, heals, mobility, everything, but only if you memorize the kit and execute cleanly. Alongside Merlin, there's also a free update for everyone. Reworked items, new synergies, better risk-reward mechanics, so even if you skip the DLC, the base game's still excellent. Cult of the Lamb Woolhaven is a massive, endgame-focused expansion that feels almost like a second campaign, rather than a small DLC. If you finished the base game and loved it, Woolhaven is built specifically for you. The expansion opens only after defeating all 4 bishops, sending you to a new mountain region tied to the Lamb's forgotten ancestry. Woolhaven adds a whole new progression path, new resources, new buildings, and winter as a major mechanic. As you rebuild the ruined town and empower the local god, harsher winters hit your cult, forcing you to manage warmth, food, and survival more carefully than before. New systems like barn animals, rot-powered workers, and seasonal rituals keep the camp management fresh. Even for veterans, the expansion shines in how it blends dungeon runs with cult maintenance. Because most players reach Woolhaven with a strong late-game cult, you can focus on learning the new mechanics without feeling overwhelmed for long. Pax Autocratica is an upcoming game that fuses colony simulation with fast-paced FPS roguelite combat. This special build drops you into a later section of the campaign, offering a deeper taste of its satirical dystopian setting. At its core, Pax Autocratica puts you in charge of the galaxy's most esteemed regime. You're not just a soldier, you're the supreme leader. Back at headquarters, you'll build and automate infrastructure, manage salaries and healthcare, and decide how to deal with growing civil unrest. When diplomacy fails, the game shifts gears. To expand your influence, you assemble a battalion and launch into FPS roguelite expeditions across hostile worlds. These missions are fast, resource-driven, and designed to be replayed, blending tactical shooting with the unpredictability of roguelite progression. And that's it for today. Those were lists the 15 new upcoming roguelite games that you need to play in Q1 2026. Got a hidden gem I didn't mention? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video or discovered a new title to add to your collection, feel free to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you'll never miss future content. Once again, if you want to buy games with cheap price, the link in the description, okay. So, thank you for watching and see you in the next video.